Hello, everyone. Hello, my beautiful people, wherever you're watching me from. It's your girl Yemzi again on the show of Live in the US. Yes, my name is Yemzi, popularly known as Omoyemi. And on today's episode, we are here with our special guest on the studio with us today. And I wanted to thank you guys, thank you all my viewers, thank you for the like, thank you for the share, thank you for the comments. I really wanted to appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. And if you are new on my channel, if you wanted to know what this channel is about, here we talk about our life and our journey here in the United States. We share our experience, what we are actually being through here in the United States. We talk about our tribe, we talk about challenges, and we also talk about how we are able to overcome all those challenges to get us to the particular point that we are presently in our life. That is what this channel is about. And if you are the type of person who love to be inspired by other people's journey, you love to be inspired by other people's story, this is going to be the right channel for you. So you may want to hang around and click on that subscription button and make sure you like this video and share this video with your loved ones at home. Like I always said, you never know how your story can actually make an impact out there. You never know how your story can touch life until you share this lovely and beautiful story with the people at home. Because what you have passed through, there's someone out there going through it right now. So that is why you never know your purpose. Telling about yourself, telling about your story may be one of your purpose on health. So don't keep that story to yourself. Make sure you share it and make this channel the right channel for you to tell your story. Thank you once again for joining us. And like I said, we have a special guest with us today. As you can see, she's looking very radiant. Yes, we have a special guest, and I wanted to take our guest too for our time, because we all know how people are actually busy in this country. So if you get someone to wanted to do an interview with you, it's something you need to appreciate. And I wanted to appreciate my guest. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, it's an honor to be here.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I want you to do a little bit introduction about yourself so that the people at home can get to know you, and you can relate with them.
My name is Jumai Akerimade. I've been in the United States since 2003. I have 3 beautiful boys. I'm married to the most handsome man on this planet Earth.
Oh yeah.
We've been together for 20 years.
Oh wow.
So thank you again for having me.
Yes. I wanted to that's beautiful, and I wanted to ask you before you come to United States, do you have an idea of what United States was about or was before coming here? Or some people, they don't have no idea of what the country is, but in a miraculous way they found themselves here. And I just wanted to know, is something that you have been coming or going, or I just wanted to know a little bit about that.
Well, thank you for asking me that. Actually, I happened to have the opportunity to do my elementary school in England.
Oh wow.
And so then after I completed my elementary school, I went back to Nigeria, to the northern part of Nigeria, where I grew up with my uncle and his beautiful wife. And I was there, and after the completion of my high school, I went to college and then came back to Lagos. And then I was working in a bank. And to be honest with you, coming to the United States wasn't my vision prior. My mother, though, is an air hostess.
Oh, wow.
And so she will travel, she'll come over to the United States and bring us all the goodies. And I'm like, this must be some kind of great country.
Ooh.
You know, you see chocolates, you see all sorts of goodies from the United States, and you're like, there must be more to this country. So I thought about it, but it wasn't really something I was keen on, to answer your question, so to say.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And since you have been here, what has changed on how you view it before, and how has it met your expectation?
Okay, so I mean, while back home in Nigeria, we do watch movies, we see all these beautiful houses.
Yeah.
So my view was like, coming to the United States, there's not going to be any hoodlum. There's not going to be any houses that don't look great.
Yeah.
The roads are going to be perfect. Everything is going to be on gold.
Yeah.
And so coming over here, I mean, I'm like, okay, this is still part of planet Earth. There are still some poor people. There's still some average sized people.
Yeah.
And the rich are also amongst us. But overall, it is a country worth visiting. It's a country worth living in, I would
Yes.
say,
Yes.
if I have to. So my view on it, yeah, I'm not disappointed.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because when I first came here to the country, in my mind, I was like, oh, there shouldn't be no. I shared with my husband. I was like, there shouldn't be no homeless people. The way the way we view the country back in Africa was like, America is. Oh wow, there won't be. But every country there are always and homeless people there. So that also changed my view about the country. So when you came to the country, do you came by yourself or you came with your family?
So when I first got to the United States, I traveled alone, but my mother was already here. So after she had retired from the Nigeria Airways, she decided to reside here in the United States.
Okay.
My brother was here, a couple of my uncles and aunties. So I did have family members already residing in the United States in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. And so when I came, I went straight to Rhode Island.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. And when you came to the country, so how was your? I wanted to ask, like, what do you do presently regarding your career? What type of job do you do presently right now?
So let me take a step back. So when I was back in Nigeria, I had gone to school, obtained my bachelor's
Oh,
in agricultural economics,
oh wow.
although I wanted to be a pharmacist. And you know how the struggle is in Nigeria.
Yes, in
You're trying to
Nigeria.
get into something and
Yeah.
they're giving you something else.
Yeah.
So I spent 5 years, graduating as an agricultural economist, and then worked in the bank. I happened to get a job at the bank. And when I finally came here, I was like, what am I going to do? Where do I start from? How do I go about it? And what I've learned since my stay here in the United States is wherever you end up at your initial visit to the United States is what makes you.
Oh wow.
And I say that to say, if you end up in an environment where people are educated,
Yes.
people strive to go to school,
Yes.
people strive to want to make a living,
Yes.
in an upper level,
Yes.
then you will strive to want to do that. But if you come in and you're with a community where there's reluctance to further education,
Yes.
they're contented with being,
Doing what
they've been doing,
Yeah.
that's going to influence you one way or the other. And so I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to be amongst those that were striving to want to go to
become
school
something,
and
to
do
be-
something. And so when I got here, when I got into getting my CNA license, and so I got that. I worked as a CNA for like maybe 3-4 months. I couldn't handle it.
Like me.
And I told myself, I got to go back to school. I'm like, I got to go back to school. So I went to nursing school.
Wow.
I went ahead, I went to nursing school. I obtained my licensed practical nurse
Oh wow.
certification. I did that. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not contented. I'm going to go further.
Oh wow.
And so I went and I got my bachelor's as a registered nurse.
Wow.
I graduated and I'm like, you know what? I am not contented.
Wow.
And so I went ahead and I obtained my master's and became a nurse practitioner.
That is incredible. That is incredible. I love to hear that. I love to hear that because, the most important thing that you said that really got me is where you actually, when you get here, the kind of environment you find yourself will speak volume, will help you in life. If you find yourself in an environment where people are just contented with what they have, that is what you're gonna do too. I love that because I have a friend as well. When she came here, we came here the same year, and she was like, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to become this. She worked so many places, but she had a determination that this is what I wanted to become. And she left where she was working before, and she was like, I need to move. And she moved to an environment where people support her, and they value education. And now I can say she's a registered nurse as well. So I love that.
That's
I really,
awesome.
and during that period that you were going to school, what is the most challenging? Do you ever feel like, oh, I wanted to, like, it's rough, maybe I wanted to back up, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go further? Is there any time during that period that you felt challenging in that area?
So I'm going to take you back some years. When I first got here, I didn't have my papers. And so me not having my papers, the good thing is, you know what the Bible says, the Lord ordered the steps of the righteous.
Right.
When I got here, September 2003, I met my husband in October.
Wow.
I had never, it's funny. I met him in October. He was my helper. God used him to help me to get to where I am today.
Oh, wow.
Because without me having my license, he would drive me to school to obtain my CNA license. He would drive me to obtain my license practical nurse.
This is incredible.
Oh, yeah. So then when I finally was able to obtain my license, we had kids along the way. You know how the challenges. That's another
story.
That's another story.
I know about
but
that.
shuffling between babysitters,
Yeah.
trying to get to school, trying to work, trying to juggle, paying the bills.
Wow.
I mean, you asked me what the struggles were. The struggle was real.
Real. I know.
The struggle was real.
I know.
Because it's not as easy as people back home think it is. There's no babysitter to sit with the kids.
Nope.
My husband has to work. I have to work. I have to go to school. And so at a point, I was like, is it really worth it? But something inside of me told me, continue.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I know what really helped me was my faith. You know, I can do all things.
Through Christ that strengthened me. Ooh.
You know, because the exams were not easy. Nursing school was like going to medical school.
Yes.
It was tough. So when you asked me if there was any point in time where I felt I almost gave up, yes. But like I said, the Lord saw me through.
Oh,
and my husband was there right by my side, pushing me and helping me to, to keep going. And I appreciate that.
Oh, wow. That is incredible. I love that. I wanted to say thank you to your husband because, for you to have a strong and a support system in your life, that is something you cannot buy. There are some people you get to them and they don't want to see you prospering. They don't want to see you moving forward. They don't want to see you doing better than them. And like I said, that's why, when you were telling your story, I can relate so much to what you're saying. Because when I decided I wanted to go for a CNA, because that is what they taught you. Oh, if you wanted to go back to school, you have to do a CNA and stuff like that. And I told my husband, baby, I wanted to go for CNA. My husband was like, is that something you wanted to do? I said, yeah. So the sacrifice was there. It made a sacrifice for me. Even the time he was supposed to rest on his off day, that is the time it take me to school, because I've not even gotten my driver license then. So it would take me to school. And that's why I was like, wow, it's like it would take me to the school, and I got the license. And I was like, baby, because when we went to do our practice, the training, it was is it nursing home, stuff like that. That really pushed me way back. I was like, baby, I don't think this is for me. I cannot do this. I say, yeah, but what about the school? I say, yeah, but so that is another story entirely. So I really wanted to thank your husband. And then when you now finish your school stuff and all that, what was looking for a job, was it something that is challenging to you as well?
As a nurse, you will always find a job. But what is important is,
because you have a career,
have you found the right job? So nursing is so broad, gives you the opportunity to serve in so many places. And for a couple of years, initially when I first got my license and all that, the first few jobs was not what I wanted, and I'm glad that there's a broad of opportunities when it comes to nursing. And so I found my rightful job.
Oh, wow.
But like I said, I went further because I felt I could do more. I could just surface more and do more for myself. And so with the master's degree that I have, what I am doing currently, yes, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. The only thing is the distance. You know, I have to travel an hour plus to get to work.
Oh
I
wow.
work Mondays through Friday. You know, then you come back home, you have to cook.
Yeah.
You know, there's no house help. It's not like back home where you have the house helps. You
Yes.
can call and say, you know, can you blend up the pepper?
They
Can
can
you
use
do
all
this?
this.
No, here in the US, you come back home, you do all
All
of
the
that
things
for
by
yourself.
yourself. Yeah. And the most thing that I always ask my guests is that, because that is one thing I want people to actually learn from. Since you have been in this country, what can you say is the most challenging thing for you that you can say, oh, this, I don't know how I'm able to get through this, but somehow God made a way, and it was success. And I was saying, this is God doing. How I'm able to get out of this is not my knowledge. I want you to share that part with the audience.
Okay, so I'm going to echo what I had stated before. You know, babysitting. That was a great challenge for us because certain places we took the kids to was not where we really wanted our children to go, but we didn't have a choice. We couldn't afford, you know, the very big daycare centers
Yes.
where you're kind of okay that your kids are there. We
Yeah.
had to use, excuse me, abele, you know, where you take your kids to people's houses and you just don't know what's going on there. So that was a challenge for me, and I couldn't wait for my kids to be all grown. That's one.
Everybody does.
Two, I would say going to school, you know, throughout my school years, because I had to combine school with family.
Yes.
You can't be in school and abandon the children.
At all.
You can't be in school and abandon your marriage.
At all.
You know, I thought that was very challenging. But I will say, with the support that I got from family members, my husband, my mother, my siblings, that helped. So those two areas of my life, coupled with the fact that I know Christ, you know, because this country, you have options.
Yes.
You can either follow the right path
or
follow the wrong path. And I'm glad that my early knowledge of knowing Christ led me, you know, to the path that I am today.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is so interesting. I really love what you just said, because there's nobody in this country that does not go through babysitting challenges. You know, like you say, Abele, you have to take them to where you don't want them, and you can't even trust the people. I mean, you don't know what is going on, and you will be so worried sick wherever you are. Like, I don't know what is going on with my kids. I don't know what is going, and that is one of the things that I sacrifice. Even now, I'm still sacrificing myself for my kid when it comes to the babysitter, because I don't want to take my kids to wherever people, I don't trust you, I can't take my child to you. What advice do you have for some people, you know, going through some of those challenges right now? What are your advice for them?
You know, first I would like to say there's going to be an end date. All hope should not be lost. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and just hold on to God. Because without Him, you really can't survive it. You will get advices from people telling you this, telling you that, but the best advice is from the Holy Spirit. The leading that you know that at the end of it all, it is well.
It's worth it. It's worth it. So, and my last question for you is, like us in Africa, everybody, the way we view the country, the way we see the country, everybody wanted to be here because we believe this is our promised land. If you finally make it to here, you know that, okay, this is the Lord's doing for me. Because a lot of people who are even rich and wealthy, they find it difficult to come here. So for those people who have the, you know, who have the knowledge, or who have the idea that they wanted to come to the country, what is your advice for them? What do you want them to, like, know before coming here, or what knowledge do you want them to have before coming to the country?
So what I would say is America is not for everybody. When I got my visa, a year and a half had expired before I finally moved, and it was the Lord's leading. Not everybody should be in the US. And I say that because you're back home, you're doing so great. You come here and you're struggling.
And you're starting
all over again. Shouldn't that tell you your blessing is probably back home? You know, a lot of people want to come here, but do you know if that's your leading? Is that where God wants you to be?
Ooh.
So that's the first thing that I would say.
Hmm.
If that's where God wants you to be, then just pray it out and ask Him to lead you. You know, life is so interesting. And I always have to use my faith because that's what has kept me. You know, everybody has a way, you know, that they have been able to survive, but literally speaking, I take it one step, one day at a time. So for those who want to come, the first step, are you led to come? And if you're led to come, just give it all into His hands. He'll lead you.
He will lead you and guide you through
you.
your journey. This is just amazing. I mean, this is amazing. And I know that you guys have learned one or two things on today's episode because I have learned myself. And I wanted to use this time to thank our guests. I mean, I just wanted to pour my heart to you that I wanted to say thank you for coming here to do the interview with us, and I wanted to thank you for your time and the knowledge in which you have shared with the audience. And it's not going to be more than this on today's episode, and I'm sure that you guys have learned one or two things on today's episode. Until the next time that we're gonna bring you another exciting episode, I want you guys to stay tuned to this channel. Like I said, you guys gonna have a lot to learn on this channel, so you guys should stay tuned, stay blessed, and make sure you didn't forget to click on that subscription button. Make sure you like this video and share this beautiful video with your loved one. So for now, I'm gonna say goodbye and have enjoyed the rest of it.